So over the last few years, I've really noticed that salespeople are bouncing around more than ever. Sales managers are bouncing around, but also sales managers are struggling to retain quality staff, particularly when it comes to developing new business. The number one piece of advice I can give you to retain sales staff is be totally honest and totally candid about how hard the job is going to be. The truth of the matter is, nothing sells itself. You need to get the reps out. Even if you are a wonderful, tremendous performer, you are still going to face high levels of rejection. To give you some context, you're given 10 leads and you're closing 3 out of 10. That's phenomenal. A 30% close rate is off the charts, okay? Particularly if you're doing outbound work. But that still means that you're going to face 7 no's. So whether you're good or whether you're not good, it's going to be tough, and we need to be candid about that from the get-go. I remember when I got my first job working in financial markets and speaking to investors after the GFC, and I was given a database to work through, and I was making phone calls and having nice conversations, not really understanding the full impact of the GFC. And I had some people who I spoke to who were brutal. Absolutely brutal, and rightly so. They didn't want to hear from me. They wanted me to cut to the chase. They wanted me to get to the point. Those people, they're always going to be there. They don't want to hear from you. They don't want to take your advice on board. They're going to ask you how you got the phone number, even though they probably registered the details themselves. So essentially, we need to understand rejection is a part of it, but you need to set that expectation from the get-go. After receiving these kinds of responses, I remember going into the bathroom and I remember looking myself in the mirror and saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to take this rejection. But my manager at the time came up to me and said, hey, you're actually doing a great job. You're holding your own, you're having the conversation, you're being polite, you're being courteous. You understand that these people don't owe you anything, and at least they're saying thank you. That allowed me to fight another day. And after fighting another day, then I started to break through. And then I started looking at rejection in a different way. So the number one thing that we have to be honest about is it's not going to be easy. It is going to be tough. Even if you're good, it's going to be tough. The second thing that you need to be totally honest about is the earning potential of the role. However, not you could make X in 12 months if you did this. We have to be realistic. There is typically a 3 to 6 month acclimation period where people find their feet, particularly if you're doing enterprise level sales. What you need to be honest about and set expectations around as well is what that salary is going to look like if you are fully committed from the 6-month mark to the 18-month mark. If you give people an expectation of what they're going to make in the first 12 months, within a month or two, or within a week or two, in some instances, they're going to say, you know what, the experience that I'm having early on is telling me that I'm not going to hit these targets. That's going to breed resent. So be frank and let people know. Say, hey, it is going to take you a bit of time to find your feet. It's all about how you're going to do from the 6-month mark to the 18th-month mark. Now, if you can set that expectation, now all of a sudden you're relieving a lot of anxiety from the situation. You're actually also relieving a lot of resent from the staff member, but also resent that you might feel towards somebody who's trying to find their feet. That's going to create a positive ripple effect through your business. So you need to be totally realistic about that as well. And the final bit of advice that I've got for improving staff retention from the get-go is give your sales team the tools that they need to succeed. If you're a sales manager, don't bring somebody in and expect them to figure out the pitch for themselves. That is going to lead to a poor outcome. That is going to lead to turnover. And that is then going to lead to a poor culture. And instead of being on the front line and working with your team to drive revenue, to make things happen, all you're going to be doing is taking interviews. So change your interview style approach. Be honest and frank about the job. Let people qualify themselves out early, and then now you're making sure that the people that are coming through understand the realities. They're down for the journey, they're down for the grind, they're happy to do it, they're going to do things the right way, energy is going to be high, that energy is going to be transient, it's going to travel over the phone, prospects are going to feel it, pressure selling will die, and instead you'll have a culture of adding value, and prospects are going to have a better time. And in my experience, that is a formula for sustainable success.